Well, let's speak more about the legend of Tina Turner with South African legend, jazz musician Sipho Hotstix Mabuse, who's with me in studio tonight. A very good evening to you, sir. Thank you so much for coming in. A good place to start, I suppose, is with what Tina Turner meant to you as a fellow performer.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me, and good evening to the viewers out there. You know, Tina meant so much to many of us. She was an inspiration. She was a motivator. She actually propelled us to want to be the best. You know, like in her song, she would say, "You're simply the best, but what makes you the best is hard work," which she was. Tina was this phenomenal. She was magical on stage. I mean, I was privileged to have gone to Sun City when she was in the country. And what a performer she was.
And what stood out from that show? I mean, someone like you has gone to thousands of shows, I'd imagine. But when you think of that night when you saw Tina Turner at Sun City, what was it that grabbed you?
You know, it doesn't matter where you've seen Tina Turner. Tina didn't say, "I'm in Africa, I'm in America, I'm in the UK." If I am going to perform, she was going to perform. And indeed, she performed. She had this amazing band as well. You know, because at the end of it all, if you don't have the right kind of musicians to work with you, then you won't be able to deliver what is, you know, what people had come to watch. And of course, what's best to think of Tina around her beautiful body and her beautiful legs. I think those were the comments that were going out there. What? At that age, if I had to look like that, my God, I'd pay $1 million to look like Tina.
And she was a show woman through and through, right? So she's been hailed as the queen of rock and roll, but her music also went into other places, places of soul, R&B elements as well. And I suppose that's what made her so well-rounded.
Yeah, well, because we should know that Tina came from a soul background. She was an R&B artist, but she managed to transcend. And incidentally, a lot of people don't even understand that even rock and roll itself was influenced by R&B. But you see, there was this raunchiness about her that made it very rocky. And as a rock and roll artist, she would go on stage and perform like a rock and roll artist, because she was also surrounded by these rock and roll musicians. So she was able to fit in and just advance rock and roll to another level. And now Tina was able to even transcend all other styles. I mean, she spanned, you know, generations. Younger people who were not even born then, she would perform with. And recently, I believe she was performing with Beyonce. I mean, you can imagine if at that level.
Yeah, just as recently as 2008.
Yes.
She was almost 70 then when she performed at the Grammys with Beyonce.
Yes.
And kept up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I watched this, you know, on one of the clips where she was performing with Robert Cray, you know, a guitarist. Amazing when she was doing, you know, A Change Is Gonna Come. And I just thought, this woman, what is it that she cannot sing? Perhaps maybe not as an opera singer, but certainly a rock and roll singer.
And just on Tina Turner and growing older in the music industry, she was also one of those people who defied the stereotypes, because her biggest hit actually in music came in her 40s after the divorce from Ike Turner, the domestic violence. She had gone away, she'd been broke, had to play in every venue that she could find to try and reinvent herself. And in her 40s, she came back and made her most popular music ever.
It's called fortitude, resilience, and determination. And that's what Tina was, you know. She had those qualities that made her a better human being. And the fact that she was not going to feel sorry for herself. She understood her power, and her power was in her performance. Her power was in her voice. Her power was in how she articulated everything that she was doing. And when she went out there, the world listened. The world responded.
And do you think we've still got that sense, that style of performance, that raw, sort of powerful presence that she had on stage today?
Let's say it's a generational thing. You know, I still believe, you know, in young people like Beyonce, for instance. I've seen she's a hard worker. She's a
And she loved
yes,
and
she
was
loves her
inspired by
work.
Tina Turner.
She loves her work. And I think Tina, demonstrated that with hard work and determination and just put everything into it. It makes you a greater person. It's not only about how great you can sing. It's also how much work you put into the singing itself and how you reinvent yourself and you go out on that stage and just belt it. And this is what Tina did. And I strongly believe Beyonce will probably be one of those people that would live for a very long time.
Lastly, your favorite Tina Turner song? Everyone has one. Am I asking you to choose your favorite child?
I've listened to Tina before when she was with Ike and Tina Turner.
Is that River Deep Mountain High?
River Deep Mountain High.
See, I'm cultured. I know my music.
Yeah, that was my favorite track. Because when I saw, she also performed in a show called Soul to Soul, which was recorded in Ghana. There were American musicians and African musicians together, and she did that song. She was just something. When Tina, have you seen Izangoma when they are possessed? When Tina was on stage, she was like that. She became possessed. She became another person. There was nothing that's she was not. Obsessed with how she looked or how she was taken up by emotion and she became a very emotional performer. And she obviously went into another realm of heavenly realm.
Mr. Sipho Hotstix Mabuse, a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
As we continue to monitor tributes to the late singer Tina Turner.